Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. It was a part of the commitment that we gave to the people of Portmore. And in fact, we were blessed by the fact that the people of Portmore voted unanimously for the first time for us to have 2 of the 3 constituencies in Portmore, which I take as a mandate for us to fulfill that commitment of establishing Portmore as Jamaica's 15th parish. Now, from a political perspective, as it now stands, the 12 councillors in Portmore are subjected to the rules and the governance structure of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. What I mean by that is that they are first sworn in as councillors of the municipal corporation. They must attend meetings in St. Catherine. They are first sworn in as councillors of the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation, and they must attend meetings in St. Catherine. They are obligated to attend a set amount of meetings in St. Catherine. So their first obligation is to the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation. As it now stands, a number of communities, such as Caribbean Estate, for example, even though they vote for a council that sits in the municipality of Portmore, they cannot seek any form of redress or any form of assistance through the Portmore Municipal Corporation. They have to go all the way back to St. Catherine. And so what we have been doing here is not anything that is just purely political. It is a commitment that was given.
Yes.
We are honoring that commitment, and we are also giving the people of Portmore full autonomy. We are giving them more control over their resources and giving them also an opportunity to determine their own future and not be a part of St. Catherine. Because as it now stands, the St. Catherine Municipal Corporation can make decisions that impact the people of Portmore, even though they are not directly linked. And so what we are doing is completing a process that started in 2000.
Here's my question then, Dr. Wheatley, and we're going to have to run shortly, and then I'm going to be joined by Fitzjackson when you're gone. But here's this thing. Fitzjackson has said, he's made a submission in a statement to the media to say, look, the Joint Select Committee on Portmore's parochial status that you lead, he says that committee has not yet provided one compelling piece of evidence why this move is necessary at this time. And he says, he used the G word, he says, it's pure gerrymandering. You're trying to change the boundaries to favor your political fortunes come the next election. I want you to respond to those things quickly.
We expect this level of propaganda from Fitzjackson. It is nature. Notwithstanding that, I am going to put forward the truth as it is. Now, for the first time, we are giving the people of Portmore full autonomy. But also, he has been saying that we are cutting off or removing communities from the municipality of Portmore, the existing Portmore. What we're actually doing is expanding the boundary of Portmore. We're taking in communities that now falls south of the east-west toll road. We are now putting communities and areas such as the Elshire Hills going all the way back to Pigeon Island, Goat Island, the southern part of St. Catherine, the North St. Catherine, into Portmore. You have communities like Phoenix Park and the new housing developments in the Bernala development now becoming part of Portmore. And anyone with sense will realize that these communities relate easily to Portmore rather than St. Catherine, right? As well as gerrymandering, that's a term that is usually used loosely. Because if you look at the numbers, for example, his own constituency, St. Catherine Southern, if we should establish Portmore as it now is, then it will not affect the outcome of an election. If you look at the voting trends over the last 20 or 30 years, it would not affect the voting pattern, So again, Fitz always dream up these ideas and just come forward with them and propagates those ideas. I want to say to Fitz, though, he spoke about going to the courts. We welcome that because we are a democratic society. But he needs to tell us on what grounds will he be going to the court. Because it is the prerogative of the parliament to establish parishes. The last time this was done was in 1867. It will be the first time that since independence that we are actually as a people determining and dictating how we establish parishes and the areas we want to consider as a parish in Jamaica.
Hear you on that.
In Jamaica.
Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this evening, Dr. Weekly. I have to run. Thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
My friend.
And I'm sure this will continue as we go along. Dr. Andrew Weekly there, the chairman of the Joint Select Committee on Portmore's parochial status. He's also the member of parliament for South Central St. Catherine. And he says that the JLP welcomes any court challenge to what they intend to do through the parliament to establish Portmore as the country's 15th parish. More after this when I'll get the response from Fitzjackson.
Out. CVM TV News is on YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
We are back for season 2 of Corner Office.
Back to school time.
We are highlighting small businesses, hard-working Jamaicans who are doing their own thing in their own spaces. People who are in their role, bossing up their role.
Let's go! Let's get it.
It's not if you own the company or not, it's how you own the role.
I feel like I'm patient right now.
Guess what? It is your Corner Office. Season 2, bigger and better. And guess what? You don't think it's not yet? Check it out. We're the end of the place. Undercover. Easy yourself.
Yeah, the last time they created a new parish in Jamaica was the parish of Metcalfe in 1841. Metcalfe was a combination of St. Mary and St. George. And yeah, so 1841. The creation of parishes in Jamaica began in 1664. So it's been what, 180 odd years the last time since we created a new parish. At that time, we had 22 of them across the island. We're now down to 14. And if the Holiness Administration has its way, it says Portmore will become parish number 15. But not so fast. Fitzjackson, who is the opposition spokesman on matters concerning Portmore, says no. They're not playing ball, and he will use every device available to him to ensure that that does not happen. He'll go to the courts if necessary, and they will take to the streets to protest what he believes is purely motivated by gerrymandering this process of making Portmore into the 15th parish. And I have him here with me now. Good evening, Fitzjackson.
Good evening, Mr. Davis. Pleasure to be with you. Good evening to your audience.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes, I heard you made an introduction of the act.
Yes.
The act that the Prime Minister is seeking to use. Are you aware that that very act in 1664 was the law that was used to divide up the lands of Jamaica for slave owners
Absolutely
and landowners in the country?
Absolutely
That was
so.
the purpose of it.
Yes.
And what Mr. Holness is seeking to do is to use the very same act to divide up constituency boundaries, parish boundaries, for his own political benefit.
May I say to you, Fitz, before you go ahead, and I'm going to give you all the time, what you say is true, but what is also true is that in 1664, when the country was divided up in parish, it was because of the relationship between the Church of England and the British government, because the parishes got their names from saints of the church, and the island was divided into parishes so that you could have, which is how the term parishioner comes about, meaning member of a church. The vestry here could have control of designated parts. So it's not that what you say isn't true, but it is also true that it was because of that church and state relationship in the UK why the country was divided and the parishes given their names. But carry on.
I know we have political parties that are seeking to do the same thing, with the same outcome, divide it up for their own personal benefit. The point to be made, George, is that this proposal for the 15th parish has nothing to do with the improvement of governance for the people of Portmore and that area, nor to provide any material or social benefit to the residents. Why do I say that? When we had a Joint Select Committee of Parliament and all the agencies, National Security, Justice, Water Commission, JPS, JCF, all the entities that appeared before the committee, all except none, said upon becoming a parish, it will not affect the dispensing of services that they provide, because they provide services not on parish basis, but on community needs and the resources that they have available to them to meet those demands. Nothing at all that will be brought about to improve the lives of people of Portmore. What will it do? It will help to create a JLP stronghold constituency. That's all it's about. Secondly, they tried it before the local government election because they never wanted the parish councillors or the councillors in Portmore to vote in the St. Catherine municipality so that they could get control of the Spanish Town Municipal Corporation. Based on the pushback across the country, because nobody saw any rationale for what they're proposing to do. And everybody could see that the only advantage to come is a political one. But it's a bigger picture, a much larger picture. Since 1980, the good sense and wisdom of both the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party came together and ended the practice of an incumbent government using its parliamentary majority in the parliament to determine how elections are administered, to determine what the constituency boundaries or divisional boundaries are, and to put it in an independent body. That has become sacred in Jamaica. That realization by both parties caused us not to have any elections in Jamaica for over 45 years. Where a losing party could challenge the election because it was done by an independent body, namely the Electoral Advisory Commission of Jamaica. What the Jamaica Labour Party is seeking to do through what they consider cute idea of creating a new parish is to enable them to use their parliamentary majority, bypass the Electoral Advisory Commission and establish particular constituency boundaries. That's where it starts and ends.
So let me ask you this then. So let me ask you this, Fitz. Let me ask you this, Fitz. All right, so I've given you time to lay out your argument. So let me ask you this. When the number of constituencies was moved to 60, wasn't it the same EAC that you speak of, which is now the EOJ? Wasn't it that same organization which said, look, we need to increase this to an upper limit of 65, and the parliament decided let's go 63 in the first instance and gradually get there. If you're moving from 60 to 63, and then hopefully from 63 to 65, clearly you're going to have to change some parish boundaries. Yeah, that's one thing. And Wheatley just said, Dr. Andrew Wheatley just said, that in the case of your constituency, South St. Catherine, the first election contested in South St. Catherine was in 1967, as you know so very well, won by the JLP candidate then. Since then, all PNP. You have a political stronghold, whether by virtue of your quality, representation, or otherwise. The PNP, I mean, I could run in the South St. Catherine in the PNP column and I'd win. So they're saying that he's adding to your constituency, so you can't credibly say that they're looking to cut you off at the knees politically. And what they're doing is what has been done in previous cycles where the number of constituencies have changed. So this is nothing different they're doing. That's what I hear the government saying.
That is factually flawed. Factually flawed.
Tell me how.
In 2011, when the number of constituencies were changed to 65, but the decision was taken to only go to 63 in the first instance. The boundaries that brought those additional 3 constituencies into being, 2 in St. Catherine and 1 in St. James, all of that exercise was done through the Electoral Advisory Commission, where the Jamaica Labour Party and the People's National Party, with the independent members, presided over that exercise. It was never an exercise by an incumbent party.
Right.
Even the Jamaica Labour Party, who was in office at the time, they gave it to that independent body. And they established new boundaries for the municipality of Portmore.
Do you deny Fitz? Do you deny Fitz Jackson? All right, I hear you on that. Do you deny?
Hold on, let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. And they created 3 constituencies in that configuration for Portmore and established boundaries for the 3, including a proposed municipality boundary.
But hear me now.
All 3 would fall in.
But hear the question now.
The Jamaica Labour Party that participated in that exercise decided to turn it over and come up with this new parish thing where they establish different boundaries.
Yeah.
If they want to, I bet you they would not create the new parish by using the boundaries that they participate in through the EOJ in 2011. Because it does not give them the political advantage that they're seeking to get.
Look, this is
That's
always
what it's all about.
Fitzjackson, this is always a touchy issue, and gerrymandering has been done in clever ways by parties in democracies many times in the past, and politicians know it when they see it. And that's your argument.
No. You are being disingenuous. In 1980, that came to an end in Jamaica.
Yeah. But hold on, no, that's not the point I'm making, you know. What I'm saying is not that it has been given life to and maintained by the parties in modern Jamaica. What I am saying as fact is that it has happened here in the past, and the broader point is that it happens in other jurisdictions, in other democracies, so politicians are very wary of it when they see their opponents doing it. That's the point I was making. That's one.
Yes,
the other thing is this.
and it has been resisted in other jurisdictions in much the same way.
And in real terms, it's not a healthy thing. It's not a good thing. I don't think, for instance, gerrymandering for what it is, I don't think gerrymandering is in the benefit of the people if it's for political advantage only. But I'm putting that on the record. But I'm saying to you...
That's what this government is...
But I'm saying to you, so that's your argument, no problem. The government is saying... But hold on, Fitzjackson. Dr. Andrew Wheatley was here before you. He said that that is not the case. You are saying that that is the case, and I'm certain there will come a time when an independent finder of fact may have to determine which of you gentlemen is speaking truth. But here's the thing.
But George, you don't have to go that far. Former Cabinet Minister Warmington publicly said that the tape is there. Your radio station has it.
Yes.
He said what I just said.
Yes. So I'm asking you this.
The purpose of it is to do just what I said.
But I'm saying this to you. I'm asking you this. All right, Warmington's statement is on record. You're correct. But hold on, man. I'm saying to you, do you deny that in the formative phase of the formation of Portmore, when an outstanding former journalist, George Lee, had to be George, of blessed memory, yes? When he was agitating for Portmore's status as a municipality, do you deny that in those early days and immediately after, the vision was never for Portmore to be stuck in municipality status, but for Portmore to become a parish?
What was started in the 90s, and I was there at the beginning.
I know you were.
I was there.
I know you were.
What the residents of Portmore, through the leadership of George Lee sought to do was to establish a separate municipal authority to administer over all the local government issues that affected the communities of Portmore. The argument came as to what you would call it, parish, city. We decided then that the name was not important. It is the authority for effective governance that was important.
And that is not. And that is not.
And we, along with George,
and that is not. And that is not a lie. That is true, Fitzjackson. But also go further and answer this. Do you deny that in the formative stage, the vision was for Portmore to become a parish? Is that true or false? That's all I'm asking.
No, that is not true. The vision was for us to be a strong municipality, governing our own affairs, seeing to the development of the community where the lives of the people in Portmore can be improved. That is the main issue concerning Portmore residents.
Yes.
We don't have a perfect municipality in Portmore in much the same way that none of the others in Jamaica are. There are lots of work to be done. And we are simply saying, use the parliamentary energy and resources to improve the quality of life for Portmore people rather than trying to give us a tag for political advantage.
Last question from me, Fitz. Last question from me, Fitz. I'm out of time, but I'm stealing a few seconds. The arrangement where Portmore Municipal Council members are also members of another parish, well, not another parish, of the parish of St. Catherine's Municipal Corporation, and the untidiness in that arrangement on paper. Firstly, do you agree it's untidy? And do you agree that this proposed change, if it happens, can tidy that up?
I don't agree with you that it is untidy. In the corporate area, you have two parishes in one.
But there's no Kingston Municipal Corporation.
No, exactly. There is one municipality for both. And in Jamaica, in Portmore, and St. Catherine, we have a different arrangement that works for us.
Okay. Okay.
Nothing is awkward about it. It's different.
Fitz,
it's different to serve a different purpose.
Fitz, I put the question to you and you answer. You that's what you do. I didn't say it behind your back. I put it straight to you and you answered it. So, yeah, that's just what it is. I think the people have gotten a great understanding based on what Wheatley has said and what you have said. And now it's up to them to make up their minds. But you are saying you take no option off the table in terms of the avenues through which you are prepared to go to ensure that this does not happen. Am I hearing you correctly?
I personally, as one of the members of parliament who was there with the people, I have a duty along with my party to protect the democratic gains of
Hear you on that. We're out of time. Hear you on that. Wanted you to get that in. Hear you on that. Thank you for your time this evening. Fitz Jackson, the member of Parliament for South St. Catherine and the PNP spokesman on matters concerning Portmore. You haven't heard the last of this, yeah? This is going all the way. Fitz Jackson says it's not happening. Good evening.
People, we now waste no time. It is already episode 2.
So we're back on the road, episode 2. We are headed to High Holborn Street.
Me hear one pressure cooker sing. What's cooking here?
Boy, look like the chef inside us and raise key and enabling them.
There's a great story happening just in our backyard. We are on the Holy Road again.
When I see my
CVM TV and live Jamaica Premier League action on a Monday night. A match made in heaven. We call
some business with NCB. What's a Wednesday without wags? We'll be hanging with man's best friend, brought to you by TruePet. We'll add a little spice to your morning and wrap the fun with a valiant effort. Why Not Wednesday is powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Are you really going to miss this? Prove you're not that guy. Every step counts. Sign up now. The time by Sagicor Sigma run is
7 o'clock. CVM News at 7 Tuesday, brought to you by KFC.
Do whatever the crunch you want with KFC's popcorn chicken, now available in hot and spicy. KFC, it's finger licking good.
In CVM News at 7, Portmore to become Jamaica's 15th parish. PNP puts constitutional discussion on pause. Missing woman found dead in St. Thomas. And in the business report, Brazilian biofuel to bolster energy security. While in sports, Grand Slam track and ISA meet over potential collaboration.
Rise with sunrise. Get your Wednesday going with Tamighty. We kick things off with an emergency kit fit for the soul in Wednesday's service. Then we'll break into some business with NCB. What's a Wednesday without wags? We'll be hanging with man's best friend, brought to you by TruePet. We'll add a little spice to your morning and wrap the fun with a valiant effort. Why Not Wednesday is powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Whatever the crunch you want with KFC's popcorn chicken. Delicious, crispy, irresistible. Now available in hot and spicy. KFC, it's finger licking good.
From Kingston, Jamaica, this is CVM News at 7. I'm Nika Lewis. It's Tuesday, January 28, 2025. Thank you for joining us. Jamaica is on the brink of history as the government moves to make the city of Portmore the nation's 15th parish. The Counties and Parishes Amendment Act of 2025, introduced in Parliament today, outlines the framework for this landmark change, marking the first new parish in post-colonial Jamaica. Ramon Gordon joins us on set.
Thank you, Nika, and good evening to our viewers. Jamaica is set to make history by declaring Portmore as the country's newest parish. The bill tabled in Parliament today paves the way for this transformation of the municipality into an independent parish. The bill proposes that Portmore include areas like Helcher Hills and Goat Islands, but exclude others like Lake Spen, Grange Lane, Lime Tree Grove and Quarry Hill. The bill also establishes the city of Portmore as the official capital, with local government minister Desmond Mackenzie claiming it will bolster lobbying capacity. The bill also proposes changing the Local Governance Act by transferring all the assets and liabilities from the Portmore Municipal Corporation to the new Portmore Parish Corporation. This move is a contentious one, the opposition leveling claims of gerrymandering. Well, you see, we took to the streets today to hear your views.
The government has made their intentions clear to make Portmore Jamaica's 15th parish. But what do the residents of Portmore actually think about the proposal for parochial status? Here's what they had to say.
I don't think we are ready for that. This thing is more a political, more anything like that. Portmore need to be more developed before it becomes into a parish. I really don't think we are ready for that. I don't think we have enough business place here. We don't have enough. We have hospital. Well, no, I just don't think we are ready as yet. I just don't think we are ready. We need to concentrate more on the overall development when I run into this parish and island.
Pretty good, actually. Know that we have the resources and the amenities that persons are looking for, meaning the hospitals, the infrastructure is going up as it relates to we don't have to go out of ports anymore to even enjoy ourselves, as we also have the movie theater, we have the nightlife now even. So pretty good. The development is actually causing more jobs to be in this side, in this area. I'm really proud. I'm happy. I'm looking forward to it.
Well, I don't think we need any more parishes. We have a lot.
No, I tell you that I feel like over here I need a hospital still, because you have to go too far when you feel, elder people and all these things. It's really difficult from here to reach public.
Yeah, I think it will be good for the parish. I mean, it has most of the amenities that we need over here, and I think it will be beneficial to the citizen of Portmore.
So how I feel about Portmore becoming another parish. I mean, Portmore is big. A lot of persons are living here, and of course, once it's another parish, maybe we'll get hospitals, additional businesses, and stuff like that. So it's a good initiative.
It would be a good look for Portmore becoming the 15th parish. At least they'll have their own hospital and so forth. It would be great.
Portmore is a nice city. Long time they're here, over 28 years now. But we have it that way as a home. But we don't want some more roads. So in terms of the roads, we need some more roads out here. Because more house, a bill, and less roads. So if we can help out with the roads, we don't really like it, Mr. Government. Just that alone, me say, Mr. Wallace.
Though the government has expressed that the decision for Jamaica's final court is not a simple one, the opposition is not letting up on its push to make the Caribbean Court of Justice the country's final appellate court. In a more drastic move, the party has temporarily pulled its participation from Joint Select Committee meetings. Trisha Gay Kelly has that story.
The People's National Party continues to trumpet its concerns regarding the decision process relating to the country's final appellate court as a hindrance to the advance of Jamaica's constitutional reform program. But the matter has escalated. During a recent candidate presentation, PNP President Mark Golding said his party will hold off on all meetings until the Prime Minister fulfills his promise to the nation.
We are saying we're leaving the monarchy, we're leaving them fully, full decolonization now. Jamaica must stand up and take its place in the world with pride. Marcus Garvey, just get him exoneration or him pardon. And we must have the pride in ourselves to know that we can build institutions of quality that look about the interests of our people. We are not boycotting that committee, but until the Prime Minister, who has been promised for over a year, to say what his position is on this issue, comes to the Jamaican people and explains his position, we are pausing our participation on that committee.
He maintains it would be consistent for Jamaica to make the Caribbean Court of Justice CCJ its final appellate court. Meanwhile, during a recent Joint Select Committee meeting on the Constitution Amendment Republic Act, Minister of Legal and Constitutional Affairs Marlene Malahoo Fort explained that the government could not move forward without analysing the citizens' views on the matter.
And the truth is that there are different views on the matter. And it is not for want. Prime Minister Holness did make an effort to get his team together. In fact, I ran one of the polls, and the poll results came back with divided views, and people feel very strongly. And I don't think it is wise to just dismiss the view.
This is not her only concern. As Malahoo Fort said, there have been accusations leveled at both parties of being aligned with a particular court. However, the minister remains adamant that the decision for the country's final court is not a political issue.
There are some who say that the People's National Party should not cooperate with the Jamaica Labour Party unless and until the issue of the final court is agreed. But I would say that which final court is not a matter of a PNP court or a JLP court. It's a matter of the People's Court.
Trisha Gay Kelly, CVM News.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced a $315 million initiative to repair vulnerable homes across Jamaica ahead of the next hurricane season. The program, which has bipartisan support, focuses on strengthening roofs and reducing delays in disaster relief. Ramon Gordon has the details.
Prime Minister Andrew Holness has announced a $315 million initiative to repair vulnerable roofs across Jamaica ahead of the next hurricane season. The program, which has bipartisan support, focuses on strengthening roofs and reducing delays in disaster relief. Hurricanes Gilbert and Beryl were stark reminders of Jamaica's vulnerability to extreme weather. Speaking in Parliament Tuesday, Prime Minister Andrew Holness said building stronger, more resilient homes is now a national priority.
Roofs are oftentimes the first point of failure during a storm, and the damage they incur can render families homeless or in dire conditions. Despite distributing almost 14,000 Hurricane Beryl recovery grants, we know that there are many households across Jamaica that were also impacted by the heavy rainfall due to the unusual, Mr. Speaker, the unusual weather patterns between July and December.
To address this, $5 million per constituency has been set aside for roof repairs. Grants, ranging from $70,000 to $100,000, will assist the most vulnerable households in fixing roofs, windows, and sideboards.
Persons who are already beneficiaries of the Hurricane Relief Grant will not be able to benefit from this allocation. We will be checking to ensure that there are no duplications, Mr. Speaker, of allocations across programs.
The program also introduces some innovation. A new spatial mapping system will help MPs source materials locally.
This means that at a glance, members of Parliament will be able to see where each hardware store is located in relation to the household in need of assistance. This will ensure that materials can be sourced locally, reducing transportation costs and improving the efficiency of the program.
To speed up approvals, assessment teams from multiple agencies will work together using sampling to prioritize cases. The initiative drew bipartisan support, albeit with a suggestion for including local representatives.
I'm a councillor before I'm MP. But we are really the first port of call, not MPs, the councillors are. Would you give kind consideration to an allocation for our city mothers and city fathers?
With implementation set to get underway, the initiative could protect thousands of Jamaicans from future storms. Ramon Gordon for CVM News.
We're up on a break, but more CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Join my private room. Only $1,000 for a grand time.
That I know me. We never said that. But who going to believe me?
That is correct. $4,350,000. Yes, go ahead. $4 million? I never approved that.
Yes, me I go doctor tomorrow. So me have to get the money today, no longer. Then no me face that. We never make no record, I beg nobody no money.
Deepfakes are AI-generated images and videos made to look and sound like people we know and trust. They're used to spread misinformation, destroy reputations, and are used to commit fraud and scams.
Don't fall victim to deepfakes. Protect yourself. For more information, visit broadcastingcommission.org or scan the QR code on screen.
Rise with sunrise. Get your Wednesday going with Tom Mighty. We kick things off with an emergency kit fit for the soul in Wednesday service. Then we'll break into some business with NCB. What's a Wednesday without wags? We'll be hanging with man's best friend, brought to you by TruePet. We'll add a little spice to your morning and wrap the fun with a valiant effort. Why Not Wednesday is powered by Flow. You've never seen a sunrise quite like this.
Thanks for staying with us. The Jamaica Bankers Association has responded to mounting criticism, insisting that they are doing their utmost to assist customers despite the burden of taxes and government regulations on the banking sector. With more, here's Britannia Witter.
During CVM's lead story, Radcliffe Daly, Vice President of the Jamaica Bankers Association, JBA, highlighted that the local banking sector is encountering operational challenges primarily due to regulatory framework and the taxes, with the asset tax being the most significant issue.
Our expectation is that a tax that has been in, that should have been a temporary tax, continuing as long as it has, is certainly a major impact on us. Corporate income tax, 33.33% versus others who are at 25%. Again, this is an additional burden that's placed on commercial banks. We have issues around fraud, security costs, very high costs that all financial institutions are faced with. Those are things that are impacting how it is we serve and the cost of serving.
His response was met with sharp criticism from former State Minister of Finance and a Member of Parliament for South St. Catherine, Fitzjackson, who argued that the battle should be fought with the government, not the consumers.
We hear the argument that we cannot improve services because of the cost, and the asset tax is one such cost. But the consumer never imposed that tax. It is the government of the day that has kept that tax there, that is strangling the banking sector. That's where the fight must be taken. And the innocent and defenseless customers must not be left to pay the price.
Jackson pointed out the disparity of the growing profits of the banks and the struggles of the economy.
Over the past 9-10 years, minimum, the profitability or the profits of the banks have not been declining, as I recall. They have been growing. And they have been growing in an economy that is not growing. In fact, an economy that is regressing. How do you explain that? That the banks are able to become super profitable while the economy is not growing.
This criticism follows a series of public concerns from consumers who claim that even amidst high banking fees, ATM issues, and quality of customer service still fall below the desired standard. However, Daly argues that it's beneficial for banks to perform well because their success enables them to better support their stakeholders.
How it is we have been operating, one, in terms of improving our efficiency, two, in looking at how it is how our assets are utilized, how it is we lend, how we manage delinquency. So a number of things would have come into play, Mr. Jackson, that certainly would have improved our performance as institutions. Yes, there are other things, and we have invested in a lot of equipment to remove manual processes, again improving efficiency. So there's that constant work that financial institutions are doing to improve profitability. And guess what? We have shareholders. And those shareholders, those investors are seeking returns. And our responsibility is to make sure that we are maximizing returns for them whilst providing consumers with the best return possible.
Britannia Whittle, CVM News.
In other news now, the calm in eastern St. Thomas was on Monday disrupted following 2 fatal incidents in less than 24 hours. A woman's nude body was found meters away from her home in a gully, and a man was reportedly shot and killed by the police. More in this report. Police in St. Thomas were on Monday summoned by locals to the scene where a woman was found dead. The woman, who's since been identified as 28-year-old resident Roshni Bonfield, also called Denisha, was found naked in a gully just meters away from her home in Gordon Valley District. Bonfield reportedly left for a funeral in the area, but never returned home. She was later reported missing.
No, yesterday I there in Portland and I get a phone call say, if you come over now, I'm going to buy load. And I get a phone call say, if you come home now, and I ask them what. I see me and my niece cry on the background and I say, then find my daughter in purse with all of the money in it and her iPhone. And her handbag around the corner and one put her slippers left around there. But when them drive and go back down there, them not find the next put her slippers. Somebody come back and come take up the slippers. So me drive and with me come here now. I come here come see whole heap of police. Me see one jeep with police and a whole heap of people. So me don't know really what.
It's news that no parent or loved one welcomes, still coming to terms with her loss.
I know say she left there and say she about to Eli. Me don't know what. So just from that, but me tell you say, jerk me up my hand and my foot that. Weak me up
now. We have lost a young female. She have a daughter and it's sad. I don't know how her mother is going to manage through this, but it's not good at all for a community like this to go through what has happened to this young lady. I mourn for them. I don't know what she's going through, but I hope that she can pull through. And I am here to support her in the best way I can, but this is a sad moment for us.
Meanwhile, residents on location near the ghastly find drew attention to another incident that left a man dead in the area hours prior. This time, the police were reportedly the ones accused. Although the councillor didn't have enough information to comment on that matter, at least one local vented.
Good youth. The youth now make no trouble, now no problem at all. And them come kill the youth and then I say police shooting. When you go in and place upon him and shoot him, you understand? And then I say, a shootout. Or it cannot be a shootout. When are you alone a fire gun? Officers.
So where is the killer, the one man that died gone?
They don't have no gun. Them say, if them have gun, you understand? A joke thing this.
And like Bonfield, he shares this man was also a parent.
Kill the youth just like that, man. Him look at daughter there right now. You understand? And baby mother there right now, the family them there. I cry. Morning. You understand? We want justice in a Whitehall.
He's been identified as Andre Johnson, a 39-year-old laborer of Brick Hill, Whitehall, St. Thomas. The incident transpired at around 6 Sunday morning. Police say a revolver containing 4.38 cartridges were recovered. Some 30 Jamaicans have died in road crashes since the start of the year. A breakdown by category shows 12 of those victims were pedestrians and 6 were motorcyclists. The authorities are again preaching safety, especially for vulnerable road users. At the weekend, Jamaica lost at least 4 people in fatal crashes. Among them, a motorcyclist in Trelawney, 2 people including a motorcyclist in St. Elizabeth, and private motor vehicle driver in St. Catherine nearing the Portmore toll. Data shows that of 30 road fatalities so far this year, 12 were pedestrians and 6 motorcyclists. From the data, a few things have become clearer to the experts and advocates: that vulnerable road users remain at high risk on Jamaica's roads.
As we approach the end of the first month of the year 2025, the police reports raise some alarm bells for the National Road Safety Council. First of all, we achieved a significant reduction in the number of persons who died in 2024. 365 compared to 425 the year before. And so this year we're looking forward to continuing that trend. And instead of that happening, we have had a slight increase in the numbers so far. But even more troubling is the surge in the number of pedestrians who have died for this year. 12 compared to 6 last year.
He reasons further that in the case of pedestrians, most die due to their own folly.
This has reversed the challenge we have had over many years with motorcyclists dying. We have had 6 so far for this year compared to 12 last year. And pedestrians are the most difficult category of road users to police and to effectively manage and to bring down the numbers because they have absolutely no protection. And therefore, we have to work with the police to ensure that pedestrians wear light-colored clothes at night so that people can see them, the drivers can see them. We have to make sure that the reports coming from the police that many of those who are dying because of pedestrian error and not necessarily because of driver error.
Meanwhile, several families are in mourning and communities in grief following fatal collisions this month. Among the latest episodes was a double fatal incident in Hodges, St. Elizabeth at the weekend, in which another motorcyclist collided with a taxi. The driver of the motorcycle, Gary Berry, a resident of Crawford, and a passenger in the Voxy taxi, Andrea Walters, a resident of Brompton, died in that tragedy.
They always have look out for them from the same way. Every day, man, they get up and work. Every day, them man get up. Right now, I'm brother, drive the car there. Right, but the brother can go to the hospital just now. You understand? And he say, I'm here, I'm going to collect. I go black about using machine collecting. Yeah. So as I tell you, say, there's nothing bad to say about that man there.
So he was coming from Brompton heading towards Black River?
Yes, heading towards Black River.
And I understand that he was turn?
Yes, so that's what I get to understand, that he was turn.
We now turn to regional and international news.
We begin with news in the region. Caribbean Airlines was forced to make an emergency landing on Monday night. BW Flight 1451 from Tobago had left Crown Point at 9:31 p.m. but encountered difficulty. More from TTT News.
At the time, passengers were instructed to assume the crash position after the pilot declared an emergency. A passenger caught the incident on video as the passengers were ordered over and over again to brace. The aircraft landed safely at the Piarco International Airport and all required operational procedures followed regarding passengers and crew. The airline said in a statement that flight BW 1541 was required to make an emergency landing but didn't indicate specifically what the issue was, adding, however, that the aircraft will be taken out of rotation for an inspection to be conducted. There was another recent incident with a CAL flight which experienced technical difficulties when a warning light came on in the cockpit. However, that aircraft also landed safely at the Piarco International Airport.
Workers near the BPT Casha platform in Trinidad discovered 5 bodies in what is believed to be a vessel belonging to migrants. We turn to Tobago updates for that report.
According to a media release by the Trinidad and Tobago Coast Guard, around 2:55 p.m. on Saturday 25th January, they received information regarding the remains of 5 bodies found near the BPTT Cassia platform drifting along the Atlantic off the southeast coast of Trinidad. The Coast Guard dispatched a vessel to the scene and at 12:45 a.m. on Sunday secured a tow line. However, the tow line detached and the vessel vanished from sight. Due to rough seas and the vessel's deteriorating condition, the Coast Guard believes it sank. This situation is familiar to Trinidad and Tobago, as the vessel's structure and design closely resemble one found in Tobago 4 years ago, according to the release. In May 2021, a similar incident occurred in Tobago, where 14 bodies were discovered drifting off the coast of Belgarden. Subsequent police investigations revealed that the boat was of African origin, specifically from the Islamic Republic of Mauritania. Many African migrants attempt to transit through the Canary Islands in hopes of reaching Europe. In some instances, however, these vessels drift across the Atlantic, eventually washing up on the shores of various Caribbean islands.
And in international news, over 200,000 Palestinians made the journey back to northern Gaza on January 27, with the United Nations observing a stream of people trekking northward up the road lining the Gazan coast. The ongoing ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas ended a harrowing 15 months of conflict. That report from France 24.
Hundreds of thousands of Palestinians are making the long journey home. At 7 a.m. local time, the coastal highway connecting the south to the north of Gaza reopened for foot crossings and the procession began. People trudged along carrying their belongings in their hands and on their backs. Elderly were pushed in wheelchairs, while parents clung to their children in the crowd. Some reunited with their loved ones after nearly 15 months apart.
It is a great victory to see my mother, father and brother. Praise to God. I have been away from them for 1 year and 4 months.
Others have been sleeping out for days, waiting for the green light.
I stayed at the checkpoint for more than 6 days in this cold weather, without a blanket or a mattress.
Around 9 a.m. local time, cars were allowed to cross, but with long delays.
And that's it for regional and international news.
More CVM News at 7 in a moment.
Anything for the taste of a KFC, big deal. The time by KFC is
7:30.
High energy bills getting you down? Lighten up, man, with Console Solutions. Slash your cost with our solar energy system panels, lighting and water heaters, all backed by expert maintenance and repairs. We specialize in custom designs, installation, energy audits and consultations. Get your home and business off the grid and let the sun work for you. Call Console Solutions at 876-844-5512 or email us at consolesolutionsja@gmail.com today to lighten up your bill.
No more fear of missing out. CVM TV News is on YouTube. Get up-to-date news, sports, and business content at CVM TV News anytime, anywhere. Subscribe now to CVM TV News to see it happen.
We are back for season 2 of Corner Office.
Back to school time.
We are highlighting small businesses, hard-working Jamaicans who are doing their own thing in their own spaces. People who are in their role, bossing up their role.
Let's go! Let's get it!
It's not if you own the company or not, it's how you own the role.
I feel like I'm patient right now.
Guess what? It is your Corner Office. Season 2, bigger and better. And guess what? You don't think it's not yet? Check it out. We're the end of the place. Undercover. Easy yourself.
We welcome you back with what's happening online in social media.
What's trending in our local social media spaces? On Monday, a vehicle being towed by a truck plunged into the Rio Cobre after veering off Flat Bridge. Eyewitnesses rushed to the scene and rescued the passenger from the submerged vehicle. Here are some of your reactions. At Valmore GS writes, take off seatbelt, wind down my windows, drive slow. Precautions I use when crossing Flat Bridge. At Dahlia.a asks, question, the bridge can't open any wider. At Carrera Lou shares, that area needs like an emergency water equipment ASAP. At Mog Keanu says, Flat Bridge are the reason why I always take the tollway. At This Is NG Post, no way in 2025 we should have a major roadway with a bridge so outdated. Accidents do happen, distracted or whatever it may be. At Way Scene comments, good thing this happened in the daylight. And that's what's trending online today. Continue to share your thoughts with us on X at CVM TV and CVM Television on Facebook. I'm Courtney Lewis.
We now go to the Business Report with Joel Crossgill.
Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. Based on the Lots to share with you in the Business Report today. Based on the outcomes of the recent visit of Brazil's top diplomat for bilateral talks, as Minister of Foreign Affairs and Foreign Trade, Senator Camila Johnson-Smith welcomed the Foreign Minister of the Federative Republic of Brazil, His Excellency Mauro Vieira.